your vibe, it be different. Can shine in your eyes what I'm missing. Your body Ferrari, but your mind is my interest. You finding, you'll find in the sky. We gon' ride the ecliptic like a Mercury transit.
Peace, y'all. Say it with Star Card Astrology, and I'm here to give you your daily astrology guidance for Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Let's pop into this right here. So, we have the sun at 1 degree Virgo, still conjunct Regulus. Now, this is making its Ceci square with Chiron. If my pen would work. Boom. Okay. Right there. So empowering ourselves right now is the greatest healing that we could possibly do for ourselves. Empowering the things that we want. The things we want to enrich in our lives. The things that we want to grow. Okay? We have to step into that and embody someone who's not afraid to create an entirely different situation for ourselves than what we've been used to. Especially after going through this Mars, Uranus, North Node conjunction, this transit, a lot has changed on the opposite side of that portal. So now is where we have to be like, okay, I planted these seeds, whether it's, in our home life, in our career life, in our love life, and not nurture them, but harvest them, right? Nurturing is in Cancer. So this is where we have to understand the crops that we have been growing here and nurturing, and harvest the fruit that we want, that we actually want, and have some type of elegance, regality to that. Empowering ourselves to the point where it doesn't, what we've grown for ourselves might affect somebody else. They might be envious of what we've been working on and growing on. But this is where we have to be like, well, a king and a queen, isn't worried about what the, average person who's not a king or queen has to say about their decisions and the way they're trying to grow their kingdom. So we're seeing this moon trine Jupiter here. So emotionally, we definitely are feeling more passionate about what we really identify with, what we want in life. And we need to make sure that we take hold of that, right? Because our emotions aren't going to feel settled or feel great if we're not moving into those blessings and moving into those places and taking that journey, taking that path of what we want out of life, right? Jupiter's trying to get us to expand into the things we want in Aries. And in retrograde, it doesn't necessarily mean the opposite of that. It just really means that we're getting the direct, amplified energy of that planet, right? Because we've caught up to it. We're in a straight line with it. So it's not always that things are going bad when there's a retrograde, especially with a planet that is a benefic, that is a more beneficial energy for us. So, we definitely can feel pretty bad emotionally with this trine if we're not moving into the things that we've already identified that we want. And, that's kind of hard when we have Venus at 16 degrees Leo getting squared super hard by the nodes still. Right? Venus is going to come into exact opposition with Saturn, that is also retrograde in Aquarius. It is opposing Eros right now. So, relationships. That line was terrible. The way that I hold this pen, it turns it off. I have to remember not to do that. So, relationships are definitely going through it. There's attaching, detaching, it's like it's hard when Saturn is in the opposing sign of Leo, because Leo just wants to love and go fully into love. And Aquarius wants to love, but it has this detached nature to it. It has this standoffish type of vibe that doesn't complement what Leo's asking of Venus and Eros right now. Okay, and Saturn is a very powerful planet energetically, and it is retrograde. So again, we do have this energy that is kind of a push and pull when it comes to our relationships right now, and love for sure. Now, the thing about it is Venus definitely likes to be in Leo, right? Because Venus likes love and passion within, creating and finances and all of that. You have to have passion in what you're doing to be able to do that. So it's not like Venus necessarily doesn't like to be in Leo, right? Even though it is an earth sign. It's an earth-ruled planet, right? But with Saturn, it's just pulling. It's just making it heavy. It's making it hard to make the decisions. It's making it hard to make the connections. It's definitely just not easy right now. Especially moving into something new is not easy. So, we have to remember that Pluto is also retrograde, changing things up for us, making this trine 2 degrees with Mercury. And Mercury is also making an opposition, 4-degree opposition, so it's not a real strong one. I don't know why it always wants to make a square over Neptune, but I think I'm going to let it do that next time. But absolutely a time where communication will change the outcome. And we can't be delusional about this communication. We have to be straightforward. We can't allow Neptune to kind of make us, oh, I can have this, I can have that, or I can, hope that this is going to work out, and maybe this will look the way I want it to. And we have to be clear and concise about the things that we want and the things that we convey with others. So have the conversations that need to be had right now. Say what needs to be said, because then this healing process can happen. The thing about it is, the soul is definitely going through this healing empowerment, and Mars is making it a little bit harder. Okay, Mars is in Gemini, trying to get us to take action in fact. While it squares the sun. But it also is making this trine with Mercury. So, Mercury, let's see. Oh, and look at that. Big deal today, guys. Big deal. Didn't even notice it till I looked over here. Uranus is now stationed. Are you ready? You ready for Uranus station? Are you ready for Uranus retrograde? It's going to completely conjunct the North Node again. Are you ready for that? Because all that unpredictable energy that we've already gone through is now amplified. So we have to stay fixated in what we absolutely value, in our true value. That's the way we're going to be able to make it through how crazy this is all going to get here. Uranus is stopped in our skies. With Neptune, with Chiron, with Saturn, with Pluto. Like, wow. These are very rare times that we're living through. Karmic for sure. And what, Mars was moving at what, 34 last time. Still 34. Slowing down. And what, Mercury's still at a plus 12. So again, the way through is going to be proper communication. Making sure that our minds are clear. Our thoughts are clear. Okay? This is not a time that if we've been dealing with anxiety, depression, mental illnesses absolutely have to be dealt with. Mercury is at home, but it's going to move into Libra, where this communication is going to be more based on with other people. This right now we could actually say, hey, this communication is actually more focused on our environment, our initial environment, and with ourselves more, which is why mental health is more of a personal thing, right? It's not an external thing where other people affect your mental health. It's all about your self-talk. It's all about how how you view yourself in this world that ends up creating these mental illnesses. It's very rarely that it's other people, because other people are always going to be there and they're going to have things to say, and they're going to, you can't really get away from it. It's more about how your mind deals with it, which has a lot to do with your relationship with yourself and your relationship with your ego. So we're watching Mercury get ready to move into Libra pretty soon here, next couple days. So this is really just communicating the things that we actually want, right? Virgo is the harvest, and coming from a pure place when we communicate. Because once it gets into Libra, communication can definitely get a little bit obscure. People can try to lie a lot to get what they want, and we'll watch it go retrograde on the 8th and come back into Virgo. So this is the time. This is the time where communication can be clear, and we can actually get on common ground with whatever it is that we want right now. But this Uranus retrograde, station right now, we're going to see a lot happen on the mass scale. We're going to see things that we can't even predict with astrology. And then eventually Mars is going to go retrograde in October. And that's when it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. There's no let up on this heavy, chaotic energy, these changes that are inevitable. So this is kind of where we just make sure that we're communicating with the right people, the right environment that is going to be our support system through it all. But that also means that you don't want to burn any bridges per se with the right people. You don't want to be asked out when everything starts throwing shit at the fan in front of you, and you don't have anybody who gives a fuck. People can act like they're loners and they don't need anybody, but we all need somebody. Otherwise, there'd just be so little of us, and there isn't. There's a reason for everything. People can act like there isn't, and we just reproduce and humans are a virus on the earth or whatever. But we were put here for a purpose. If you don't believe that, then okay. But I believe that we were all put here for a purpose. There's a reason why there's multiple of us. There's a reason why we all have communities, why we band together, why human nature is to love first and foremost. And then society manipulates us to become outside of our nature. You can call that whatever you want to call that, but the dark, the devil, whatever. But society was definitely not built on the essence of humanity, the structure of it. Because if it was, it would be a more nurturing place. It wouldn't feel so hard to exist in, right? It's like when you go on a camping trip and you're just in nature. You're just like, oh, this is awesome. This feels so right. Like, it's so easy to just exist here, right? Because our initial environment that we were put here for coincides with human nature. Yeah, you could run into a bear, mountain lion, but it's not the most common thing to happen. And there's easy ways to prevent those things from happening. But in society, it's a struggle, and it was built to be a struggle when it could have been built in a whole different way. So communicate, lay the groundwork for your environment, a supportive environment, and we'll make it on the other side where eventually the astrology will calm down. It's not going to get like sunshine and rainbows or anything like that, but it'll definitely calm down. We'll be able to reconstruct, build back better, whatever. Not that I rock with Sleepy Joe or any of that, but all that. So let's see what the cards have to say for this Wednesday. I appreciate anybody who's been tuning in. If it's been the same people over and over, much love to y'all. I appreciate the support. Honestly, it means a lot. If you could drop a comment, that would be awesome. Helps grow the page. Like this video, share it so we can grow this community and get this information out there to people who need it. A lot of people think astrology is just, a horoscope and very general, and it's really a science that has a lot of layers to it. So I'm here to help with that. I'm here to break it down as much as possible and just give as much guidance as I can and that resonates, But I am in the chat, so if anybody does ever comment, I can see it. But much love. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna shuffle one last time. card for this Wednesday is the Five of Cups upright. So emotions. Where are they leading us to? We need to understand our emotions, because our emotions are trying to guide us in the right place. They're trying to make sure that we do find what we're looking for out of this existence, out of this life. So allow your emotions, allow our emotions to be the guiding force. Don't get caught up in negative emotions, but listen to them, because there's a message that's trying to come through. If you are receiving some type of negative emotion, some type of like, you feel like things aren't going right when you communicate with somebody, trust that. Trust that. There's a reason. If you're, this is kind of where you can regret things, right? So trust your emotions, communicate clearly. Then you won't have any regrets. If you hold back, then there might be things that are left unsaid, but things that are said and out in the open, I mean, at the end of the day, you could feel like you might regret saying certain things, but it's always better to get it out there. It's always better to put it out there, because then the universe can start turning the gears. Right? Other people won't be left in the dark about how you truly feel. And that will create an environment around you that is more nurturing to what you actually feel. But that can't happen if it's kept in. So, I hope that helped. And until next time, one love.
Cause your vibe it be different, can shine in your eyes what I'm missing. Your body Ferrari, but your mind is my interest. You finding the sky, we gon' ride the eclipse like a Mercury trans.